Yet again, we have some verbs in these answer choices, and maybe it has to do with tense, maybe it has to do with singulars and plurals. If I'm going to think singulars and plurals, B can be singular, D can be singular, but both A and C, these are just kind of standard past tenses. They're both, right? There's no difference between them in singular and plural. If you're unsure about that, go back to my answer or my explanation for number 22. I get much more into detail about it there. Let's take a look at the sentence, though. It's long. In the 1950s, a man named Joseph McVicker was struggling to keep his business afloat when his sister-in-law, Kay Zufall, advised him to repurpose the company's product, a non-toxic clay-like substance for removing soot from wallpaper, as a modeling putty for kids. So 1950s, probably matters if it's tense. In addition, Zufall blanked selling the product under a child-friendly name, Play-Doh. Well, there's no year in that sentence, but it's very clear that, like, Zufall is kind of giving these suggestions at the same time, so she suggested it. It's not suggests because this is present tense, and this is clearly something that's happened in the past. Hopefully you are aware of what Play-Doh is, that you know it's been around for a while. Then we get into other past tenses, right? So C and D, they're both other past tenses. I would say the short answer for why A is better here is it's shorter. And generally speaking, these other tenses, especially these ing ones, are just like unnecessarily long and complicated. And we might write that way sometimes because we're more comfortable with words like was, but really it's just better to chop off these helping verbs and let the verb do the work on its own. And so this was just one moment in time when Zufall suggested selling the product under this other name. So it's a single moment, so that's why suggested is the past tense that we want. It is a past tense where we have like a distinct moment in time. C had suggest maybe that it had happened multiple times or over a longer period of time, but literally it's probably just like one conversation, like, hey, you should call Play-Doh, like that, done. So had suggested it is again kind of like over time. And D maybe implies the same thing, is that she was suggesting it repeatedly, but we don't have any evidence of that in the lines. So yeah, there are tense reasons why C and D are kind of the wrong version of the past tense, but I really do think the easiest way to think about it is just like, A is shorter, it sounds fine, that's kind of the way that we want our sentences to sound, and so hopefully it just sounds better to you as well. I get that that's difficult if you're trying to think about it in a grammatical way, but we're in the easy module, and one thing I've noticed about these is that grammar rules are important, but a lot of the questions are just really going to be about instinct, and so it's okay to trust your instinct more if you find yourself in this module.